All right, welcome back to our YouTube channel, COAF Field Team. And this round, just want to talk about answering a question or answering the mail. In this case, it's a question from one of our YouTube viewers, Reese Bobby. Shout out to Reese Bobby. Thank you for the question. And specifically, the question looks at could we do a video on fly fishing gear needed for cold when it's cold?
So rather than just talking winter, we'll just talk in general what we typically use and what we used in preparation for this upcoming winter season, for the trout stocking season, and also what we used the other day when we were on the Blue River. First, we'll start out with wading boots. These are what we use, Cabela's. We've had them for several years now, 5, 6, I don't know. Anyways, this is what we use. We like using wading pants. Okay, these come up to right here, and they have their own belt, and everything's all good. And then when it's really cold, we'll shift over to 3mm stocking foot wader chest waders. Okay? Also, we'll use, normally when it's cooler weather or not as cold, we'll go with wool socks. Also, we'll go into these neoprene 3mm socks. So everything's oversized. Our boots are oversized, as well as the pants we wear. Oversized pants that we can layer things. Specifically, we'll start out with, if it's not so cold, using the wading pants and not having to go to the neoprene waders, but it's still cold enough, we'll start layering things with some long johns, as well as some like athletic workout pants, anything that will keep you warm. You can also get the commercial variety. Next thing we'll do is we'll either go with Under Armour or a over long john thing that we got from Cabela's the other year. I think this is like rated at 0 degrees or something, and we'll layer these on top of each other. Really cold. Been out there when it's been well below freezing, and able to handle it with no problem with this setup, along with this other gear that we'll talk about here shortly. So again, it's layering is what we're doing. So once we get that, we'll have our normal shirt on. If not, we'll have a long sleeve shirt, or we'll go with a sweater, a wool sweater. Okay. And then after the wool sweater, we'll have another wool sweater ready. Depending on how the temperatures, we'll shift to several wool sweaters, if not just one. And then if it's really bad, then we'll have another jacket that we have over it. If not, it looks like it's going to rain or whatnot, we also have one of these jackets, so that we can really bundle up and still handle be it any snow, sleet, as well as just some freezing rain. This has been able to keep us going. And what's up happening is our hands end up getting warm or cold because we dip our hands in the water. So we've gone with wool gloves, we've gone with other gloves, leather gloves, line gloves, and they get wet, but that's usually enough. So this round we've been using these Yak Gear kayak gloves, and they seem to be working out fairly well. All right, so other thing, we'll have our hat. If not, we'll have a little wool beanie. All right, well, this one's actually a blend, but we'll have that as well, keep our head warm. If it's not too like in the summer, we've gone out with just the wading boots and these neoprene socks. Later on, as we head into the first part of the trout stocking season, we'll shift over to wool socks, or with these 3mm socks as well, and then these wading pants. If it's going to be colder, maybe staying in the 30s or 40s, and the water temperature is going to be fairly low, then we'll add on the additional underlayer pants, be it long johns, as well as maybe some athletic pants. For the top, we went with last time was just a wool sweater, and instead of the Under Armour gear, we just went with the Cabela's long johns top. So that one that can go to 0 degree weather, and later on in the day we'll just take that off and be out here with just the black Cabela's piece here, that long johns. When it's really cold, we'll have everything on. Sometimes, and we'll make just adjustments as the day progresses. And the key is the layers. If you end up with just one large coat, and you're stuck with it. It's really hot, really cold, you're stuck. And so we find that that worked out pretty well. We're just having these layers and adjusting. When it's really, really cold, we'll go with these 3mm neoprene waders. And again, we have that flexibility. We don't have to have the boots worried about with this boot or with that wader or whatnot. We just switch them out. And the other reason why we like having the wading boots versus or the stocking foot waders that uses the wading boots is you get a home, need to replace them, you can still keep using your boots. One other thing that we like specifically with the blue is you can see some of the cleats are gone on these, but we like having the cleats on the bottom. Allow us to grip the rocks, keep us from having a spill, which eventually you will, which also brings us to having an extra change of clothes, because if you do have a little dunking, you'll be ready to switch it out and stay warm. This is a little wading stick we made out of a stick we found floating in the blue, and we used it immediately when we had a little dunking, made our change, and said, I think we better go with a wading stick. So we just kind of put this together, put some athletic tape, a little hook here, and it just carries over our shoulder, and we just clip it to our wading vest. We have a wading vest, and it has a lot of gear in there, but bottom line, everything's easily accessible, so that we're in the water, we're able to grab things quickly and get to them. We also made a net, our own net made out of a wooden net. Still got to work on the netting itself. We may just replace this because it kind of gets stiff when it's cold. It's basically made out of some molding. We bent it and made this shape out of here and a lanyard for it. And so far it's worked really well. You'll see it in some of the videos that we've made. From a rod and reel standpoint, we've kind of like the Echo Ion series, the 4-5 weight, as well as, well, actually we have 2-3, the 4-5, the 6-7, 8-10, 10-12. We got them. We're using a 6-7 on an 8 weight rod, kind of like fast action rods. This is the Cabela's LSI. This is one that we used to replace one that we busted way back. And this is kind of our backup rod because we normally use the 5 weight. This is that Reddington Mojo rod that we always talk about in our videos. Got it right now, ready to go in this case, so when we take it out, it's ready to go. Don't have to take a long time while you're at the river, ready to go fishing. You can just take this out, undo it, and you're ready to go.
Alrighty, so we hope this video was able to answer that question about what fly fishing gear we use, especially in cold weather. So again, shout out to Reese Bobby for the question. Hopefully we answered it with our demo and various clips and pictures that we added. Some things to recap concerning what we showed this round. Some of the common themes that we were looking at was layering your clothes, because as things get warmer, you can take off a layer. As things get colder, you can add a layer. Additionally, wool. We use a lot of wool socks, wool sweaters, wool beanie caps. We found that it keeps you warm, especially when it gets a little damp. With snow or a little light rain, the wool tends to keep you warm, even when it's slightly wet, if not wet at all in some cases. Additionally, we do like stocking foot waders over the boot. That's a combination boot and wader. And we do like lug-soled wading boots, so we can add the cleats to them. For the stocking foot variety over the built-in boot, reason we like that is being able to have the flexibility to shift over from one set of waders, be it the chest neoprene waders that we use when it's really cold, as well as the wading pants when we are fishing in a little bit warmer conditions. We're just able to use the same wading boots and just shift over. And even then, you can also just wear wading boots and do some wet wading and not have to worry about trashing some socks or some tennis shoes or whatnot when you're out wading about in warmer weather. The other thing is do keep a change of clothes. That was the other piece that we wanted to give you as a main takeaway, because eventually you're gonna spill, and you do want to have a change of clothes. And then lastly, we did post some links in the description, as well as we put a little Amazon little page thing so that you can get a picture of some of the things that we talked about. Doesn't mean that that's what we are suggesting you use. Best thing to do is just use what you have. Look around. There's some cases, like in the case of the wool sweaters that we use. One was one that we carried over from the service. We were issued it, and we were able to keep that when we left the service. And then the other one is we picked it up at Goodwill. Paid $2 for a 100% wool Army style sweater. You do have to be careful between the old style 100% wool Army issue sweaters versus the current ones. There are some that have a acrylic blend to it. The key you want is that 100% wool. And then do stay tuned and check back periodically. One video we're currently working on is our next video, which will even make into a QA question and answer piece so that we can talk about our last trip to the Blue River. And we're kind of mixing things up instead of the standard that we've been doing in the past where we reel the fish in, we grip it and grin at the camera. Instead, what we're trying to do is give you some suggestions and tips of what worked for us or maybe what didn't work at a particular location that we fished. And so this first one that we'll do will be the Blue River. When we went there this past Tuesday, I think it was like November 20th. I ended up limiting out. It was a good trip. And I think we got some useful information for those that want to make that trip as well to the Blue River. If you want to join the live stream, please do. But if you're not able to join the live stream, do reach out to us. We've been answering via comments on the YouTube as well as emails coming our way, as well as on our Facebook page. We all go by COAF or City of Island Fishing Field Team. Hopefully, we can get some more video and suggestions and tips for our viewers who are interested in maybe catching a fish or two this season. All right, till next time, we'll catch y'all later, and good luck and good fishing.